He's trying to get out. Watch out!
He asks his guys to maintain the tempo. Watch him. He must feel able to win the stage. He has to be caught if we are to hope for a stage win.
Last time checked with a breakaway. 1 minute.
His teammates are accelerating. They're no doubt readying the intermediate sprint.
Twice French champion, Arthur Vischer is an all-round puncher who knows how to put his qualities to good use on hilly routes. The breakaway is managing to hold off the peloton. The gap seems to have stabilized. The intermediate sprint is nearing for the men at the front. The first man across will glean 20 extra points towards the points classification. Whether on mountain stages or on hills, he's to be taken seriously as he climbs well. He can ride for himself or serve as a luxury teammate.
The breakaway is 5 kilometers from the intermediate sprint.
Watch out for him. If he gets away, he can go all the way. His qualities as a ruler are exceptional. You mustn't give a meter's lead, especially as he takes short climbs in his stride and has no interest in waiting for the sprint, given his lack of pace.
Here's the winner of the intermediate sprint. Okay, but I won't be very effective because I'm full out. Okay, I'll put in a big acceleration.
The head of the race has 1.5 minutes lead on the peloton.
His team is riding for the overall standings. The front of the race will struggle to widen the gap. In front, he's the best placed in the overall standings.
He's trying to get out of the peloton. Watch out. Counter-attack at the front of the peloton.
You've got to be well positioned, guys. There's a winding descent 5 kilometers from the finish. It won't be possible to get into position afterwards. The finishing climb begins just after.
Only 10 kilometers left.
Five kilometers for the breakaway. It's going to be nip and tuck with the final small climb. The breakaway will, no doubt, go all the way, lads. But watch out for attacks in the closing kilometers.
The breakaway riders begin the climb to the finish. Victory should be contested between these riders. We'll have to keep something in reserve if we want to get away in the final kilometers.
1 kilometer. Give it all you've got. He's been dropped. The stage is too much for him. The green jersey will not change any more today. The leader is ahead by enough points.
We really messed up this stage. We were aiming for a stage win, and we didn't even finish in the top 10. It's very disappointing. Hi, guys. Let's start the briefing for this stage. The main thing to grasp today is that the route is flat and it harbors no particular difficulties. A sprint finish is more than likely. This stage is of no interest to us. Keep cozy inside the peloton. Have a good stage.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This stage should follow a fairly predictable scenario. Given the absence of any major difficulties, the sprinters' teams should control any breakaways in order to compete for victory in a sprint. The riders have just set out and already there's an attack. Things are livening up at the head of the peloton.
He's asked his teammates to manage the time gap. He no doubt wants to take the win in the sprint. The head of the virtual overall standings is ours. But don't get carried away. The stage is still long. It's looking good. You've got more than a minute's lead on the peloton.
He's a relatively complete puncher without major strong or weak points. His best chance of victory is to try a breakaway from far out. His qualities as a ruler are exceptional. You mustn't give a meter's lead, especially as he takes short climbs in his stride and has no interest in waiting for the sprint, given his lack of pace.
To target the overall standing, do not strain yourself during flat stages in order to keep the maximum in reserve for when the mountains come around.
Watch out for him. He's a real puncher who can come out on top on any finish with a short climb. But he can also rely on a good turn of speed if there's a group finish. He's a free element. He can upset the apple cart if conditions are right.
You're the best placed on the overall standings in the breakaway. He's asked his teammates to manage the time gap. He no doubt wants to take the win in the sprint. At the front, you're the best placed for the green jersey. Essentially, you're the fastest of the group in a sprint. He's the best placed on the overall standings in the breakaway.
Yeah, go! Los! Weiter! Ihr schafft das! Haltet euch! Weiter so!
He's asked his teammates to manage the time gap. He no doubt wants to take the win in the sprint. He doesn't seem to want to let you have more of a lead, and his teammates are pushing hard. It's going to be a game of cat and mouse. Puncture! Puncture! No, just kidding. It was to wake up the mechanic. You'll have to up the pace. His team is moving into the driving seat behind. He's got his teammates riding because a rider who's dangerous for the stage victory has broken away.
The intermediate sprint is looming for the front of the race. The first 15 riders score points towards the green jersey.
You'll have to up the pace. His team is moving into the driving seat behind. The head of the race is 5 kilometers from the intermediate sprint. His teammates are accelerating. They're no doubt readying the intermediate sprint. Here's the winner of the intermediate sprint.
Weiter so, Jungs! Ihr schafft das! Kommt sie mit!
Flat stages. Little wonder that they're not shown in their entirety on TV. They're riding hard behind. This isn't the moment to relax.
The breakaway is losing ground.
Haltet euch an! Bleibt dran!
The gap is increasing. We don't need to ride for now. There's nobody dangerous for us in the breakaway. You're the best placed on the overall standings in the breakaway. The peloton is 1 minute 30 behind you. His teammates are leading the chase at the head of the peloton. His intentions seem clear. Win in a sprint. At the front, you're the best placed for the green jersey.
Looks like the breakaway still has some gas left. It's still able to widen the gap.
For now, he's the virtual yellow jersey.
Last time checked with the breakaway, 1 minute.
Weiter so, Jungs!
Essentially, you're the fastest of the group in a sprint.
"30 seconds lead for the head of the race.
Your opponents are upping the pace to hold off the peloton. You have 30 seconds lead. We're professional leaders. Come on, keep at it. You were first over the top of the climb. That's good.
Schneller! Schneller! Schneller, schneller! Bitte die Pedale! Hop, hop, come on, come on! Hop, hop! Allez! Schneller, schneller! Hop, hop, hop! Allez! Allez!
You have 30 seconds on the peloton.
The riders are all back together. Everything will be played out in the final kilometers. The peloton is flying towards the finishing line. Victory should come down to a sprint.
The last kilometer is not completely straight, guys. You'll have to sprint on the left of the road to follow the shortest path.
The sprinters' teams have the situation in hand. The sprint is inevitable.
Watch the demeanor of the other sprinters to know when to launch your sprint. If you start too soon, you will be unable to continue your effort to the line. If you start too late, you will not have time to work your way to the front. Just 5 more kilometers. We are heading for a mass sprint. The yellow jersey was in danger, but he's once again leading the overall standings. Last kilometer, you've got to sprint. Change of leader in the overall youth standings.
Well done, lads. You rode a very good stage. Finishing in the top 10, even though the stage didn't suit us, is very satisfying. Well done, lads. Hi guys! Welcome to the briefing for this first stage. The main thing to grasp today is that the route is flat and it harbours no particular difficulties. A sprint finish is more than likely. We don't have what it takes to be in the final sprint. If we want to make a showing, we'll have to be in the early breakaway.